has taken over. Let's go. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast. Steaks, chicks, stacks. You and I are going to make a lot of money. It's Ferrall, coast to coast.
It's Ferrall on the bench, coast to coast in the biggest way possible. Hanging out the bad seat, the burger, the bad apple with a bad attitude. We are live in New York City, the Big Apple. Ooh. People dressed in plastic bags, directing traffic, some kind of fashion shake-up should do, along with the Tutty and Tater King himself, the founder of the Aisle Seat podcast, the rights holder of the Sheet of Integrity, and the Put It With the Golf guru, Carver High, this afternoon, ladies. Mafia's running it along with Luke. I am your father. The rundown on a Misery Monday. We've got a double shot with Morency this very hour from Vancouver, British Columbia. In the second hour, look who it is, the fascist Adam Kaufman from Boston talking about the Celtics. And then in the final hour, it's Smiley. Smiley Kaufman from the Smiley Show with Carver High talking golf. We've got it all for you on a Monday. Wow. The Game 7s were incredible this weekend, no doubt about it. I hit one of them, the Stars. They had no business winning. And I blew one of them, the Blues, and they had no business losing. But they did. They found a way to lose a 3-1 lead with 2 minutes to go, surrendering a equalizer with 1.6 seconds left on the clock. I don't know where that 3-second stuff came from. There was 1 second left in that game, and they scored, and then you knew it was over. I mean, it was good night, Irene. I mean, when you give up that one, it's over. I don't know how you recover from that, and they didn't, Mike.
Yeah, happy Monday here on Coast to Coast. And yeah, we usually start with the basketball or whatever, but the NHL Game 7s, I mean, they kicked the NBA Game 7's ass this weekend. I mean, they were so much better on several levels that we just had to go there first. First of all, last night, you're right. When the Jets score there with a second and a half left in the game, you're thinking there's no shot. I thought what kind of reset it for St. Louis was it went so much longer, right? Like, I thought Winnipeg would score in the first 5 minutes of the overtime and just get him. But as the game dragged on and St. Louis killed off a penalty, I actually thought it started to swing the other way by the second overtime, and that St. Louis maybe refound their footing in the game. But when you get to that point and you play for that long, it really does become anything can happen. All the icings and guys were so gassed, and there was just not much left out there for either team. It was a hell of a hockey game and a hell of a comeback by Winnipeg. And we sat here Friday, me and you, and we both thought the one guy who could carry Dallas home, because it had looked like he was starting to over the last couple of games beat a guy, was Rantanen. And that third period that he had on Saturday night, one of the best periods of hockey, forget in a Game 7, you'll ever see in the playoffs, and he did it in a Game 7. Unbelievable performance by Rantanen.
Well, I guess he's a teammate now in Dallas, and I guess he fits now like a glove after having a Hattie the natural way in the third period. And he scored the first to make it 2-1, then 2-2, then he had the empty netter, and that was the hat trick, natty beer style. All I know is they like him now in Dallas, and they used to love him in Colorado, but they gave up on him. We said on Friday, watch him come back and haunt them. Sure enough, he was the difference. He was the reason they won. No questions asked. I think this guy, Wyatt Johnson, has been spectacular as well in big games, in big playoff games for the Dallas Stars. I actually still like them over the Jets in the next round. I just think they're dangerous. And I know that the Jets had the best record in hockey this year and won the stupid President's Trophy that no one cares about. But I thought the Blues exposed them, and I thought the Blues blew it. The Blues blew that series. They had multiple chances to ice that game with an empty net, and they shot the puck over the net and just kept icing it. I thought they deserved to lose. They should have won the series. I don't care what anybody says. I know they didn't. I'm not stupid, but I thought they blew it. You win game 6. Every game they won at home, they blew them out. Then they go there, and you're up 2-0 in the first period. You're up 3-1 with 2 minutes to go, and you effing lose? Honest to God, like, you got to be kidding me. So I'm not afraid of them. They're beatable. They should have lost. Shoulda, coulda, woulda, but they didn't. They got lucky. All this talk about we knew we were going to win. We knew we had it all along. I heard all that after that game. We never gave up hope, all that other bullshit. They got lucky. That's all there is to it. And I thought St. Louis should have won the series. They blew it. You had one job to do, and you couldn't do it. It's unbelievable.
It was an all-time melt by St. Louis. You cannot you cannot lose that hockey game. Forget. Really 2-0 first period. I know there's 40 minutes left. You should get home. But 3-1 with 2 minutes left in the third period.
That's it.
You have got to get home in a game 7 at that point. I don't care where they're playing the game. But they were too busy trying to score the full length of the ice empty netter. Like they did not try to even just chip it out, do it. They were taking long shots at that net, and they just kept building up those icings. And they just giving Winnipeg more and more opportunities. I'm with you. I like Dallas in that series against Winnipeg. We'll talk about it later on. We've got another series starting tonight, Toronto and Florida, which we'll get into. We know all the matchups now. Vegas, Edmonton, Washington, Carolina, Toronto, Florida, and Dallas, Winnipeg, second round of the Stanley Cup playoffs. We have the NBA too. Warriors win a game 7 last night against Houston. They move on. They're going to play Minnesota now. In the second round, the Nuggets the Clippers are embarrassing. I'm tired of doing it. Every time we think that there's this is a different Clipper team, they never show up in these big spots, ever. That was a joke what they did. And how about the Pacers winning game 1 on the road in Cleveland? Let's go.
Well, we hit that. We picked the Pacers with the 9.5 when it first came out in game 1 in Cleveland. I thought the Dubs would have won it Friday night at home. I thought that was embarrassing. I thought the Rockets' performance in Game 7 at the Toyota Center was embarrassing, but nothing can compare to the Clippers' performance or lack thereof. I thought, once again, it is inexplicable to me, and put it on his rap sheet, James Harden doesn't show up for Game 7s. I know he's done it once. He had a 35 once, but every single other time, he's been a disaster. 7 points in a game 7 at home or on the road in Denver. He has the 7 points. At home in the game 6, he had 28. And then you go on the road and lay that kind of burger. What was he? 2 of 8 from the floor. He hit 1 3. I mean, that was embarrassing. It really was. Again, and I didn't think that Kawhi Leonard played bad. I thought Zubats played bad. He had 10. He laid an egg. They laid an egg. They've never sniffed it. They've never won it. They never will.
You know it's bad when you're down so much in a game 7 that the coach
35.
don't even put his guys. They didn't even put his guys in the fourth quarter. He didn't even play Harden and Kawhi in the fourth. They were getting their ass beat so bad. He just told them all, "You're done. That's it. Season's over. Have a seat." They didn't even bring him out for the fourth. Embarrassing.
I'll tell you what. I think they're in trouble tonight, that Denver team. And I know everyone's trying to sell me that Oak City hasn't played in May, and they've had a week off, and it's going to really throw them off their game. Oh, you mean the game that they won 68 games? You mean those games? Or the games in the playoffs that they win by 50 points, 55 points? Which is it? Denver had no rest after a 7-game series, and they got to play them. Good luck.
knows how to show love to our everyday heroes. So if you're a first responder, you are in for some perks. Lots of hotels and casino offer big discounts to any first responders who can show valid work or volunteer ID. So treat yourself to a discounted stay. You deserve it. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
Second game of doubleheader. We don't know exactly who's going to be in the lineup, and maybe you get an extended game number 1, which means tired bullpens and closers used up, which aren't available for game number 2, and maybe finding some extra shots here. But I do think the pitching matchup more susceptible, Tom, to runs here.
This is part of what we look at. Like I said, I don't expect both teams to win. So we have a pitcher who may not be sustainable at 28.6, but he's playing well right now.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
If you're going to trade Durant, right, it means things are getting weird anyway. Teams are going to, before they go for Durant, they're going to go for Devin Booker. That's just the reality of it.
You get rid of Durant, or do you do the crazy one? Because you're so far out of the West, do you get rid of Booker? Because D-Book will bring you far more in a return.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high, but the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that rim. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple 15.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
You can catch Sports Rage weeknights at 10 East along all of our TV and radio outlets. We get Morency for a double shot, thank God, every day from Vancouver. You know, I got to tell you, Gabe, the reason I thought they lost that series, the Clippers, was not so much Game 7 where they always lay an egg. It was that Game 3 at home when they were down 20 and they came roaring back and tied the game and then gave up the air ball to Joker for the Gordon dunk. They steal that win, walk out of there. The next game, the Clippers beat the crap out of them. Then they went to Denver and got whacked. Then they went home and won big. And then they laid their usual season-ending egg in a Game 7 and beer choke. If they would have won that game, that they came back in their building, that they had a great shot of going to overtime. This guy shoots an air ball. It's going to overtime. And they were controlling that game at that point. The fact that Gordon dunked that home, they never lived that down.
It's amazing that the Clippers just find ways not to advance time and time and time again because they are a pretty good team, right? They were a day late, $1 short in this series, Scott, but I brought it up early in the series, and I said it's only going to be harder to win Game 7. It's easier to win Game 1 or Game 2 in Denver, right, than it is to win a Game 7. And the Clippers put themselves in this position. I'm not surprised. I lost confidence and hope, Scott. I bet the Clippers to win the series. I gave up. I started to bet on Denver, like from Game 5 on. I knew we were done. I didn't bet the Game 7 because I already had the Clippers, but I did take Denver in Game 5 when it was 2-2. I was just sort of hoping for the best, but it's amazing. I mean, this team's got, you want to talk about, people talk about like the Cleveland Browns or the Buffalo Bills, the Toronto Maple Leafs. I'm once in 67. The Clippers guys have never made it to the conference finals before, let alone, winning. They've never been to a championship. They've never even been to a conference finals before. And they spend a lot of money, right? They have superstar players and they're just a day late and $1 short all the time.
It's unbelievable. It really is. Now, Denver goes on to start a series tonight in OKC against maybe the best team in the league, certainly record-wise and productivity-wise, scoring-wise. They've been unbelievable. People are trying to sell me that they're going to be cold tonight because they haven't played in a week. I got to tell you, I think that helps them, doesn't hurt them.
The only thing I'll say about this is it's a lot of points to be laying. This isn't the Memphis Grizzlies anymore. This is a real basketball team. You're playing against men, not children, in Denver. And Denver have matched up well with them. I don't like to take too much stock, Scott, in regular season matchups, right? Once you get into the playoffs, it gets brought up a lot. But, the fact of the matter is they split the games that they played. They played back-to-back, actually, in Oklahoma City in March. 127-103 Oklahoma City. Then Denver beat them 140-27. When they played in the Mile High City, it was 124-122 for Denver. You notice a common pattern here, Scott. Points. I'll be betting the overs in this series. I'm stepping up to the window tonight. I like the over in the next game, actually, as well. But I'll take the over. And, 9.5 has to be enough to get interested, Scott, in the Denver Nuggets. I respect Oklahoma City. I'm a fan of theirs. I like what they're doing. I like their players, right? SGA and Lou Dort's from Montreal. SGA's outside of Toronto. They're a very popular team in Canada, Oklahoma City. They played an exhibition game in Montreal actually this year, like recognizing that, hey, yeah, we're popular here. So, I like this team. They're a fun team and they're a dangerous team, but I'm going to take the Nuggets plus the points tonight, Scott, and the over in this game.
Yeah, my son, that's his favorite team, the Thunder, since he's been
young
old
people
enough.
like them, Scott. They're
They
popular.
love 'em.
Yeah.
He's got Thunder stuff all over his room. He's got jerseys. He loves the Thunder.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is
SGA
wrong
is
with
very
you?
popular.
I don't understand the kid. It must be the reefer. Are we on the air? I don't.
No, it's true, Scott. No, like 20-year-olds, 19-year-olds,
Right.
they like Oklahoma City. Like, they don't
Good
care
for
about
them.
that big market stuff, the kids,
Yeah,
right?
Good
They don't
for
care
them.
about, LA and Boston. You do. Me and I.
I'm a grown man. I'm
Like
I'm 40.
Oklahoma City.
So, what did you think of the Blues handing the Jets the series?
Wow. That was literally, I've seen a lot of hockey games over the years, guys. That was one of the most memorable games ever. Listen, if the Jets, that's one of those where were you when type of moments for like New York, for New York, Winnipeg Jet fans, especially if they do something now, right? They haven't gotten out of the first round since like 2022, 2021, 2022. So they finally get through here right now. They could become a dangerous team. If Hellebuck ever figures this thing out on the road, the Jets are going to be scary. They just won without Morrissey. They won without Scheifele. All the talk about Hellebuck on the road, guys, he's 16-0-1 in his last 17 home games. And, the Winnipeg Jets have home ice advantage in every series that they play. They had the best record in the NHL this year. So technically, they could lose every road game, win every home game, and win the Stanley Cup. Now, it's a tough way to try to operate, but
They
they
should have
just pulled
lost
it off.
that game last night is what they
Well,
should have done.
The Blues, like, dude, I've never seen a team, Scott, and it's wild because the Blues
Joke
are very
that bad?
they're a smart team that they weren't like shooting for the empty net, and they weren't just slowly chipping the puck down the ice.
They were icing it.
They were literally just blasting it as hard as they could, like down the ice, and one face-off after another. It's like one of the other guys. You'll see like the Washington Capitals, the net's empty. Ovechkin's just like, yeah, I got this. And he'll blast a slap shot from center ice and it's over, right? Other teams take the more, just dump the puck slowly into the corner to lead time up. And St. Louis didn't do either, Scott. I'd never seen this in my life. I was tweeting about it live. I'm like, these guys are insane. Like, to just keep blasting it down the ice. Finally caught up to them. Dude, the last, Scott, they showed the sequence last night in the intermission on Hockey Night in Canada. The last, 9 seconds, 13 things happened that saved the Winnipeg Jets. Like, dude, a Winnipeg Jet player missed the puck. He missed the puck. The defenseman bobbled it. It was like it bounced off a Blues skate. It was like an act of God, bro, that the Jets won that game. Like, I don't know if God doesn't like the St. Louis Blues, but, man, that was a literal miracle that the Jets tied that game last night.
I mean to tell you, I was like, you've got to be kidding me. Like, what a meltdown. It was unbelievable. So when we come back, we'll talk about tonight. Florida and Toronto start up the Eastern Semi at Scotiabank in Ontario, and we'll see who Morency likes there.
knows how to show love to our everyday heroes. So if you're a first responder, you are in for some perks. Lots of hotels and casino offer big discounts to any first responders who can show valid work or volunteer ID. So treat yourself to a discounted stay. You deserve it. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
Second game of doubleheader. We don't know exactly who's going to be in the lineup, and maybe you get an extended game number one, which means tired bullpens and closers used up, which aren't available for game number two, and maybe finding some extra shots here. But I do think the pitching matchup more susceptible, Tom, to runs here.
This is part of what we look at. Like I said, I don't expect both teams to win. So we have a pitcher who may not be sustainable 28.6, but he's playing well right now.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
If you're going to trade Durant, right, it means things are getting weird anyway. Teams are going to, before they go for Durant, they're going to go for Devin Booker. That's just the reality of it.
You get rid of Durant, or do you do the crazy one? Because you're so far out of the West, do you get rid of Booker? Because D-Book will bring you far more in a return.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high, but the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that rim. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple 15.5 point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. It's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Anyway, you can't even deny that. Like they got beat. What, they get beat twice, 5-2. And then they got their ass beat again on Friday, and then you're down 3-1 with 2 minutes to go, and you blow that. I don't want to hear it. How good the Jets are. I want to hear how badly the Blues forked out that series to them. Like, are you kidding me? They showed.
Oh, it'll be rough for the Blues. Like the Blues players. Like I said, the sequences, like. To watch the actual many little things that happened to allow this, it was literally like Mr. Magoo type stuff. Like how the Jets still pulled that off with everything that went against them and little plays, falling down, pucks bouncing. But that's hockey. And yeah, the St. Louis Blues, like I thought the Blues players actually as well, I thought they weren't as upset as I thought they should have looked after, to be honest. Like they were very like they.
Yeah, I didn't stick around. I didn't stick around to cry and watch them lose. Like once it was over, I was good night, Irene. Let me just say this to you. Back when the Penguins won all their cups, the one thing I remember about the last three that they won, the one thing that stood out about those teams, all of them, were speed, and the other thing was they never did what the Blues did last night, icing every single puck down the ice and facing that many faceoffs in your own end in front of your goalie. The Penguins used to be masters at flipping the puck into the neutral zone and letting you go get it and come back and face more problems at the blue line. I couldn't believe how many times. I mean, they must have had 15 icings. I mean, how stupid are you?
It wasn't an ideal.
Fire the coach. I mean, like, what are you doing, situation. Bro?
There was one guy on the Blues. I don't know. I forgot who it was. There was one dude, though. I think there was about 26 seconds left in the game, 27 seconds left. He had the puck, like, right inside the center ice. And he was kind of alone. I thought, I was like, oh, he's going to score right now. And he fired it at the net. But he really, it was a terrible shot. He kind of did like a wrist shot. And it sailed and it went off the glass. It went off the glass into the corner. Yeah. And all he had to do, Scott, is literally chip it in the corner all the way around. It would have eaten up like 13 seconds. The Jets would have had one drive left coming out of the zone after that. Instead, he ripped it too. And they were ripping the pucks. All you got to do is flip it in the air, and it'll stay in the air, and you know what I mean? Or you just dump it down the ice, nice and soft, where it's not icing.
How about when they took the penalty when he flicked it into the crowd to lay a game? I'm like, Jesus Christ, what are you doing, bro?
That happens a lot. That happens a lot late.
Not in overtime in a game 7, you idiot. Like, I felt they were really poorly coached. I think that whole coaching staff, that guy used to drink. He quit. He should start drinking again. Honestly,
fatigue.
He'd be better off the way he coached them. Seriously. Tonight, the
Fatigue
Leafs are at
kicks in,
home,
too.
game 1 of the Eastern Semi in Toronto. I mean, here's an opportunity for you at home. Jump on this. They're the champs. You don't mess with them. You let them win tonight, you'll lose the series. I mean it.
I agree with you. And, I don't like to say that game 1 is a must-win ever of a series, but it kind of is if you're the Toronto Maple Leafs. If you're the Maple Leafs, if you're up 2-0, there's no guarantee you're winning the series still. It's like, okay, we held serve. Now we got to go deal with this in Florida now. If you're down, you're losing the series. Like, this is critical for their confidence, just to get the Panthers on the ropes. Like, you can't, you know what I mean? It's a lot like the Clippers. The Clippers and the Leafs are very similar, right? It can't be like, oh, well, yeah, we didn't win today, but we were close, and we'll get that road game back later. No. Right. You saw the Clippers didn't get the road game back. They lost the game 7 after. It only gets harder as the series goes on, especially when you're playing like championship caliber teams. If you're gonna beat them early. Get to them early. Let them know that it's a series here. The Leafs can play with them from a hockey perspective, but one thing I'll say, I don't think they should dump and chase. And you're not gonna out-Panther the Panthers. Just, that's the thing with the Leafs. They get in the playoffs and they kind of change their style. We're gonna play playoff hockey. You're not good at that. Just use your skill. I think the Leafs have better chances to win a 5-4 game than a 2-1 game against the Panthers. But I agree with you, Scott. It's a must-win for the Leafs tonight.
Celtics laying a big number against the Knicks. You're taking it with Denver. Are you taking it with the Knicks?
This one I'm going to pass on. I'm just going to bet the over, Scott. The last 7 times these two teams played, they scored over 213 or more points. I'm going to take the over in the game, but the Knicks always get killed by them.
All right, Morency, good stuff.
Did you know sportsbooks tend to draw up tighter bet lines for events that get even more bettors, like championship games or major matchups? My tip? Try betting on less popular sports. You might have a better shot at beating those odds. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
They've won 7 in a row. They've been dominant at Citi Field. Lindor's been insane. Pete Alonso's been raking.
Griffin Canning, David Peterson, those guys have pitched really, really well. And when you put it together with that lineup, especially like you said, Lindor's been great. They've got the makings of something very special in Queens.
Ferrall, coast to coast, only on SportsGrid.
Fans hate them. Like, kids go to Giant games and they're like, my father forces me to come, or my grandfather was a season ticket holder. Like, no one has fun. It's a miserable place to go.
The Giants' problem has always been, over the last several years, and it's been the reason why Barkley never really got off, is the offensive line.
Sports Rage tonight, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high, but the action isn't just on the field.
Rearranging that rim. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple 18.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. It's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
So, how about the Dubs last night, Mike? They went to Houston, and if you think about it, over the years, they have been winning down there in H-Town all kinds of series, let alone last night.
Yep, that is the fifth time that this group of Warriors, and by I mean this group, I mean Kerr, Curry, Draymond, have eliminated the Rockets down there in Houston. So they've been very good at doing that throughout their time together in Golden State. And Steph did have a big fourth quarter. He hit a couple threes. He was quiet for most of the night, but it was a massive night for Buddy Hield. That's right, 33 points. Your boy hit 9 threes in a Game 7. You've got to be kidding me. A couple of the late ones on TNT.
The Warriors sniffing it down. Curry, Buddy Hield. Buddy Hield for three. They've had 4 times in a 5-year span from 2015 to 19. Went 4-0. Buddy Hield, why not? Buddy Hield's got 33.
You know what's amazing about him? The night, Friday night, he had 0. How crazy is that? He had no points Friday. But my favorite shot he made was when Curry drove in on the baseline and flicked it over his shoulder to him on the kind of 2 steps from the corner on the wing, and he daggered that in the first half where I think he hit 6 of his threes. I thought he was spectacular. It is what it is. Going into the game yesterday, I just flat out, I wanted Houston to win the series, and I wanted the Clippers to win, but I wasn't stupid. I bet on the Warriors on Friday and on Sunday. So, I thought they'd finish them off Friday night. I couldn't even believe what I saw Friday night. That was, to me, that was surreal. I mean, the Rockets kicked their ass in the chase, and then I just said, there's no way they're losing again. They're too, great of a franchise. All they do is win and play for championships. And Kerr doesn't lose in the first round. He's never lost a first-round series. I think he's 8-0 now. And so I still bet on the Dubs yesterday. And I told you I bet on the Dubs and the Blues. And Friday night, how about this? I bet on the Rockets Friday night, but I hit the hockey game and I hit the Blues, and then I hit 12 of those 15 baseball games you dished me out on Friday night. But then I ate it with the Dubs. So I couldn't bet against them on Sunday. I just couldn't with Steph Curry. And the least of all, I never thought that Buddy Hield would be the guy that would have a 33-piece. I thought it'd be Curry.
Yeah, Curry, like I said, he was quiet for most of the night, but he did hit a couple of big threes in the fourth. Missed his first 5 shots. He did have 10 boards, 7 dimes. He got 22. He hit 4 threes, 2 of those in the fourth, when the Warriors were putting the finishing touches on them down the stretch. Here is Steve Kerr talking about more great contributions from Steph Curry.
I'm blown away by Steph's competitive fight. At 37, been doing this forever. Got 4 rings. Gold medal, everything he could possibly want in his life, he's got. He has nothing to prove, and yet he's going to come in and try to prove something every single night. It's amazing. Draymond, too. Jimmy, too. And that's the common theme, the common denominator with all these guys. It's their competitive force, that how much they love to play and compete and win, and the process of going through it and putting themselves on the line. The fact that these guys continue to put themselves on the line year after year after year, it just blows me away. The competitive spirit and energy and love for the game, it's beautiful to watch.
I got to tell you, and I've said this erroneously many times on this show over the years, I cannot believe still to this day that Kerr puts up with this guy Green. Honestly, I've said, how many times have I said, oh, they're going to get rid of him. He's sick and tired of this guy with all of his antics, punching teammates, getting in fights, getting thrown out of games, double tax left and right every season at the tech limit, always in the middle of brawls, always playing dirty, always doing stupid things. And I'll tell you why he puts up with it, because he's going to retire with all those rings, Kerr, with the Dubs and with the Bulls. And he knows that basically, Draymond Green is Dennis Rodman. He is absolutely a freak and a sideshow and a problem and a distraction and a fighter and an instigator and a troublemaker and a bad overall person on the court. He's a dirty, nasty player. And I think at the end of the day, that's what Kerr likes, that he's such a lunatic and a defender, and he's willing to die for the Warriors, that they've never given up on him. That team has never gotten rid of that guy with all of the problems he's brought that franchise and bad press and attention and everything else. They've never gotten rid of him. And they're going to ride with him until he, I think, retires. And I was wrong. I thought for sure they'd, how many times have I told you I think Kerr's sick and tired of this guy? And that he, at the end of the day, he'll admit that he was a pain in his ass. But he's also going to say, he's already said it. He's the greatest defender I've ever coached. And I think everyone that ever played with Dennis Rodman, like I know Dennis really well. And I was friends with Dennis. And Dennis was the best rebounding and defender I've ever known in my life. I've never seen anyone. He was a maniacal lunatic. He would dive into the crowd, into metal chairs, into tables. He would fight. He would do whatever it took to win, to get a rebound. Literally a rebound, he'd kill for it. He would kill you for it. He'd kill it. He would sacrifice his children for a rebound. I've never seen anything like it. I think Green's the same player. I hate Green. I think I hate him because he's such a D and because he's so great.
Since you're on him, if Luke, I'm sure, can move up one and do Draymond next then, since you just talked about him. Here is Draymond. Of course, usually has a lot to say. How about him actually tipping the cap to the other team? You don't see this very often from Draymond.
The way he had those guys fighting, I gained a lot of respect for that team throughout this series. One of the tougher series I've played in, personally. But that's a young team to be reckoned with. And I told myself I talk crazy because they have been talking crazy all series and on the internet, but I gained so much respect for those guys. Sengun is an incredible player. The way Fred VanVleet and Steven Adams led those guys, they had no experience, and they led them, took us to the brink. That team's going to be a force to be reckoned with, and I hope they understand it. Things can change fast in this league. You're only on the up until you're not, But they got something promising that they can continue to build on. Jabari Smith, incredible. He played like a vet this whole series, getting his spots, knocking big shots down. A lot of respect for those guys.
Yeah, he didn't say anything about Jabari Green because he was awful.
Jalen Green was absolutely awful.
Jabari Smith was great. I thought Green was terrible. And I thought Draymond Green was awesome.
Thompson was good too for Houston. Thompson played well.
The Thompson twins, great band and great players.
Green had 38 points in game 2. You remember the big game 2 that he had with 38 points. In the other 6 games combined, he scored 55. He had 38 in one. He had 55 in the other 6 combined, and he was awful last night again.
Yeah, don't be fooled by 55. He was terrible.
Oh yeah, literally, you're talking less than 10 points a game for a guy who's supposed to be, their volume scorer, their big scorer.
He was their leading scorer.
Supposed to be the guy, and just did not get it done. We'll come back. The Warriors now have to play the Timberwolves in the second round. We'll meet with the Minnesota Timberwolves. Give you the numbers for that series when we come back.
Did you know sportsbooks tend to draw up tighter bet lines for events that get even more bettors, like championship games or major matchups? My tip? Try betting on less popular sports. You might have a better shot at beating those odds. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
They've won 7 in a row. They've been dominant at Citi Field. Lindor's been insane. Pete Alonso's been raking.
Griffin Canning, David Peterson, those guys have pitched really, really well. And when you put it together with that lineup, especially like you said, Lindor's been great. They've got the makings of something very special in Queens.
Ferrall, coast to coast, only on SportsGrid.
Fans hate them. Like, kids go to Giant games and they're like, my father forces me to come, or my grandfather was a season ticket holder. Like, no one has fun. It's a miserable place to go.
The Giants' problem has always been over the last several years, and it's been the reason why Barkley never really got off, is the offensive line.
Sports Rage tonight, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high, but the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that roof. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
Just a little flyer, couple 15.5 point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
All right, so what did Curry have to say about all of those wins he's had in Houston?
Yeah, let's hear from him. And not only that, I mean, it's short and sweet and he gets to the point. But again, Curry just another series win for him against the Rockets. I mean, he's just looking sharp afterwards, as always.
You've won 5 series now in Houston. What do you think your reputation is in the city?
I'm a winner.
There it is. You lose.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it comes down to. You lose. That's what you can say to everybody.
I mean, honestly, like, what can you say? Do you know how many rings these guys have and MVPs? And it's just there's no questioning what they do, and they're a dangerous commodity without a doubt.
They certainly are. Now the Warriors will face the Minnesota Timberwolves in the second round of the playoffs. Of course, the T-Wolves knocked out the Lakers. They will play game 1 tomorrow night. There's your series. Minnesota's favored -178. Warriors plus a $150 for the series. The early numbers for that game 1, by the way, are -7 for the T-Wolves tomorrow night. -7. This is the first time in the Steve Kerr era that the Warriors are dogs in a series. They have been favored in every series since Kerr has been there until this one. First time.
Well, I got to be honest. I agree with it. I think the T-Wolves are a better, deeper team. I do, without a doubt. I like them in every facet of this series. And I'll tell you why. Because, I don't deny Green defensively. Or half offensively. I'll give him half. He's half the player that, he used to be scoring. I thought he was, decent last night with 16, but this team to me is about Butler and Curry, and they need Hield to score. He can't have 0-point games. And I do not believe for 1 second in Kuminga. He's been a disaster. Post had no points yesterday. Moody had no points. Looney had 3 points. These guys are bums compared to that roster on Minnesota. Don't get me started on how much better they are. They're deeper, they're better, and all of these guys score. I mean, McDaniels, it goes on and on. Naz Reid, it goes on and on. No one on that team will be able to. Now, I'm sure they'll say Draymond Green. No one's stopping Edwards from doing whatever he wants. And while you're worried about him, you better be worried about these other guys because they'll pour it in too. not only will they pour it in, they'll dunk it in. So I just think they're flat out better than the Warriors. I think the Warriors had a great win over the Rockets, and my guess is it'll end here.
I think the Timberwolves are going to beat them also, but I also don't think that the Warriors are going to get rolled like the Lakers did by them. I mean, the Lakers got rolled at the end of the day by Minnesota in 5 games.
I think the Warriors are better than the Lakers.
I think the Warriors are in this for some distance. I think there's going to be 6, maybe even 7 games here it's going to take, but Minnesota beats them. But I think it's going to take a little while. I think the Warriors will be in it.
I'm down with that. Like, I just want to see it. If I have to watch them go to the conference finals and NBA finals, I'm going to puke. I really am. I can't have it. I'm rooting for these, Rogie Vachons. I'm on Minnesota.
Yeah.
I like the Pacers. I'm on the Knicks. I think the Knicks are going to get their ass peeled. And whatever that other one is, I can't even think of it.
Oklahoma City.
I'm on Oak
City.
City.
Denver.
And the other Eastern is what is, and I'm already on the Pacers. So that's
there
that.
it is.
So I'm on the Pacers and Knicks. That's what I want.
8 teams left now. We're done with the first round. We're on to the second round. One of those 8 will win the NBA title this year as we head into the second round. The second round actually did get underway last night. Game 1 between the Pacers and the Cavs. And how about the Pacers getting involved on the road, taking game 1? A lot of Tyrese Halliburton getting involved on TNT.
Doing his dance, 1 to shoot, Mitchell the scoop, missed it. Well played by Halliburton.
And then
beautiful fade, Siakam.
They do not play scared.
Listen, how many times do I got to say this? They're 10 deep. Look at every single guy that started scored double figures, well over double figures. Turner had a double-double. Naismith missed a double-double by 2 rebounds. So did Siakam. Halliburton had a double-double and 22, 13 dimes. Nebhard had 23. I don't care if he didn't have a double-double. He still had 23 and 5 threes. Toppin gives you 7, 5, and 2. Mathurin gives you 11, 5, and 1. McConnell gives you 7, 1, and 2, and then they sat his ass. If he would have played the second half, he would have had 14 and 4 and 5. He would have had 14, 4, and 5. This guy, every time he plays, produces. I couldn't figure out why they sat him down. All I know is the Cavs have a problem on their hands, and it's the depth of Indy and the way they move the ball and pass the ball and score. It's the same thing that the Cavs do. So they don't know what hit them. They're like, oh, my God, someone can do what we do? Yeah, and they beat you. And I took the 9.5. Boy, was that a foolish spread. That'll be the last time you see that in this series.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to see any more of those big spreads in this series. Well, you know what? You're wrong, because game 2 is 9 again. Game 2 is 9. Which
That's
I'll give
moronic.
you
But the reason that is because they got their ass beat so badly that they have to go out and win by 10 on whatever it is, Wednesday night, Tuesday night, whatever the hell
tomorrow
it is.
night. Tomorrow night they're going to play.
I can't keep track of all. I don't even know what day.
Well, normally it would be Wednesday because usually the NBA is so just not smart that they make these guys, every 4 days, they're playing a game. They're actually doing an every other night situation for once. So they're going to play game 2 tomorrow.
Well, they should. This isn't soccer where they take off a week between games.
They try to, though. I will let you hear from Halliburton and Carlisle when we come back.
Did you know sportsbooks tend to draw up tighter bet lines for events that get even more bettors, like championship games or major matchups. My tip? Try betting on less popular sports. You might have a better shot at beating those odds. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
They've won 7 in a row. They've been dominant at Citi Field. Lindor's been insane. Pete Alonso's been raking.
Griffin Canning, David Peterson, those guys have pitched really, really well. And when you put it together with that lineup, especially like you said, Lindor's been great. They've got the makings of something very special in Queens.
Ferrall, coast to coast, only on SportsGrid.
Fans hate them. Like, kids go to Giant games and they're like, my father forces me to come, or my grandfather was a season ticket holder. Like, no one has fun. It's a miserable place to go.
The Giants' problem has always been over the last several years, and it's been the reason why Barkley never really got off, is the offensive line.
Sports Rage tonight, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high, but the action isn't just on the field.
Rearranging that roof. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple 15.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. It's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
All right, so there you go, Carver High. Now we get to hear from Hallie and from Carlisle at some point here of the Pacers win. I still think the Cavs are going to give them a series for certain. I mean, without a doubt,
yeah.
I think Cleveland's going to be in it.
Yeah, this is a series that hopefully is going to have some distance to it as well. Halliburton had 22 points and 13 dimes. Asked after the game about being a point guard and what it's like, here he is giving you his determination of it.
I don't know. I mean, that's my position. So I don't know. I mean, I feel like I facilitate at a high rate, just try to get guys involved and just try to make the right play. Try to take care of the ball as much as I can, and just, help lead the team. That's what I think like I've said many times, being the point guard's like being the mom. Your job is to take care of everybody, and, just trying to do that at a high level.
Listen,
this
like guy's biggest problem is his dad. It's not his game.
Yeah, well, he doesn't have to worry about that because he's not going to be at any of the games, so he doesn't even have to worry about Pops.
I guarantee it caused tension between them and the family. I guarantee you there were some phone calls.
I'm sure there was.
I bet his dad is not happy about how he's being treated. Meanwhile, he asked for it.
Shouldn't have never went on that newscast.
Who's he blaming now? Is he still doing TV interviews? Those aren't happening either.
I don't think he's done any since.
You need to go back to being an old man.
Nembhard was good for the Pacers too. He had 23. He had 5 threes. Mitchell did have 33 in the loss for the Cavs. Here's Rick Carlisle. Yes, we won one game, but there is a lot more work to be done.
We've got to stay hungry. I mean, I haven't heard many people that gave us a chance in this series, so we got to use that as some level of motivation, but
no one believes in us.
We know what we're capable of. Game 2 will be exceptionally hard with, them dropping game 1, this building the way it is, all that kind of stuff. So we're going to have to be ready, but our mindset has got to be, we've got to keep attacking.
Could this guy be more wrong? I mean, can we just start with me, for instance? I took the Pacers from the beginning, from day one. In the playoffs, I've taken the Pacers. I said to you, before the playoffs started, they're still the most dangerous low seed of any team in the NBA that they could go back to the Eastern Final and play the Celtics again. Because the Celtics are going to beat the Knicks. So it's going to be, they have to finish the Cavs off. Because I can guarantee you what smells better is Cleveland-Boston, the 1 against the 2. I'd like to see that. But I do think the Pacers are good enough to beat the Cavaliers if they get down to business, and then they'll go to the Eastern Final, and they'll lose again. And Boston will be back in the NBA Finals playing for another banner. And that'll be that. Know that, because that's coming.
For the series now, despite winning the first game, Pacers still dogs. Now you get the Pacers at plus 188. It was 4 bills on Friday before the series started. And the Cavs are now minus 225 to go and win this series. And as I already told you, for tomorrow night, game 2, minus 9 for Cleveland, 229.5. The total, of course, we'll do more of that tomorrow on Coast to Coast.
Yeah, obviously, I think that there's some semblance of taking the Cavs tomorrow based on how desperate they're going to be to win that game and probably play on another level, 6th gear, whereas I think the Pacers might be in 5th gear. I think the Cavaliers have to win. They cannot go down 2 to this team. If they lose, they will certainly lose this series because that team they're playing is too good to lose 4 or 5. They are. They're too good. They're too deep.
They are.
They just come in waves. The guy knows how to coach, and he's got 10 great players that can play. And, the Cavs have that as well, but they're already down 1. Can't go down 2.
Can't go down 2 at all. So there you go. We'll come back, and we do have 2 games tonight. But before we get there, I want to give you a couple things from that Nugget win. Obviously, the Nuggets completely thrashed the Clippers in that game. But I figured we do got to talk bad a little bit more about James Harden. And we got to play some Brody because Brody, he was loving it Saturday night after finishing them off. I mean, he was full of smiles on the podium after they eliminated the Clippers. So we'll give you some of him.
He's a stud. Think that there's something to the fact that they blow all these leads against the Edmonton Oilers? It's like the Oilers could be down 4 goals and they come back like it's nothing.
We got a series now. I think this thing is going to reset, Scott. I think home ice advantage is going to hold true in this series. I think I told you that last week. I'm expecting this. I picked the Kings in 7 before the series started, and it's like plus 700.
Ferrall, Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
Is so crazy that you get both ends of that spectrum and the narrative trying to be correct in doing so and to make a statement for engagement. You're wrong, you've been wrong, and deal with the reality of the situation.
All of the people that analyze the draft mocked one in the first round, and even could he go to the Giants at number 3 or trade up back in that round. They got Gart, they didn't get Sanders, and the fall was on at that point.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
We're going to get a bunch of upsets. We're going to get a lot of craziness. Didn't happen as well. I mean, over the last calendar year, Sam, I don't ever recall 6 or 8 months of time in sports where the books lost, but here we are.
They estimate FanDuel and DraftKings lost $185 million combined for March Madness. So estimating not just that they didn't have a profitable March Madness, but it was a huge loss for them as well.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune in to Game Time Decisions weekdays on SportsGrid.